That's it, Ken. You bother. That's better.
Hello, welcome to the show. That's it, we're up and running, finally, the first podcast. So, as you know, we've got Jean Spears from Glasgow and myself, Gary Finley from Dundee. And we're going to be interviewing medium John B from Falkirk. So welcome to the show, John. Did you hear me okay, John? Wait a minute, I think we've got some problems. John, can you hear me okay?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I can hear you.
I can hear you for a minute, but that's okay, that's it while I'm working. So, Right, Jean, you fire away. What would you like to ask John?
Hi, John. Obviously, you've been in the movement for a very long time. How do you see that it's changed over time?
It's getting away from helping people, in a sense. You can. There's still that goes to help others. You can. But there's a lot of it can see me, I am, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know?
So, what do you feel is the cause of the changes?
Why not just go do your work and head home after it?
Yeah. So, do you think it's the younger generation coming up that are causing this? Or he's gone?
I think he's still there, but I think he's lost his camera.
Aye.
Could you still hear me, John? This is where we're cut to a break. No, I could be button it. And he's still there. He's still saying he's connected. So, unless he's just lagging out.
No.
Yeah. Back in a second. So I'll just put some banners along the screen, Jean.
They're coming along nice and clearly.
Yes. I'm not sure where John's from. But he's church and that.
Yeah.
As I say, it's just our first trial, our first go, and we can only improve and get better as we day and more. That's right. John seems of little days. We've seen I've lost John.
Language to use on a platform.
Right, okay.
Did you hear that, John?
John, what kind of language is acceptable?
They certainly should not swear on the platform.
Yeah.
Right? You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Right. It's away again.
Aye, it's coming and going to that end. We'll just keep going and see if we can get it together. So, some people choose to come to churches to serve them, and just let's say their personal dress is questionable. Again.
Okay.
Hi, John. So, some people come to a church and they come with various clothings on. So, what would you say would be the etiquette for personal presentation when you're doing a church?
Well, you've got to have personal pride for a start off.
Yeah.
Respect for yourself and respect for the church who booked you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I wear... When you go...
So, I was going to ask you,
What
should people
I wear
wear?
wasn't actually planned.
Right. I wear wasn't planned.
Aye. I've seen it happening.
Right. So,
Aye.
for ladies, what do you think is suitable attire?
Well, make yourself clean and respectable,
Yeah.
you know, because at the end of the day, you're doing a church divine service.
Yeah.
You know, and people will gauge you on what you wear.
Yeah. That's true.
You
So, there have been some people came to churches, and let's say what they're wearing is questionable whether they should actually be coming to the church like that. So maybe their sense of pride is less than ours. How can we deal with that?
You didn't book them.
Aye. So that leads me to another thing. How many times should you let somebody cancel your church on the same day before you stop booking them?
I would say 3 times anyway.
3 times.
And if they cancel 3 times, to me it's like they're no interested in serving your church.
Right.
Because we book them to give them the honour of coming to your church. And every church should be an honour to serve.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
So, how do you feel about the people who open churches and they're not mediums?
Hats off to them for opening up a church.
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
But really, at the end of the day, if they can't do it, they should have at least somebody there who can take the service if the medium either gets held up or whatever reason they can't get there in time.
Yeah. I think the same as yourself, John, and that's a really good point. Some churches I've been to, the medium has cancelled at short notice, and then they just pull a medium that lives local, and they're not actually mediums.
Yeah, that's right. That happens, Hen.
I know.
You know?
But do you not think that brings down the movement, and that's what makes us all look daft, stupid?
Yes, aye. Because if somebody cancels about 5 o'clock, say, right, or any time after 5, it doesn't give you any time to go and get a person in their place.
Yeah.
So it's really important that you have somebody there in the hall who can stand in and take the service. Or if you've got trainees in the church, get them to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
So how do you cope in your church?
Pardon?
How would you cope with it in your church if somebody cancels at the last minute?
Well, we are very, very lucky. We've got me, Marianne, wee Jackie, and we've got the trainees you can as well.
Yeah.
No?
And you're right, you're very lucky.
We put the trainees up 2 weeks on the trot.
Right.
No, very, no too long ago.
Yeah.
You know, because it gives them the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So, what do you think how are we going to take some control of the spiritualist movement, because people appear to be just doing what they want?
You can't really, because there's no a governing body that you can actually go to and say, well, look, that is no right, you know?
So I keep asking the spirit world to fix things out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think we could do as people who run churches to try and help?
Put the congregation first, because without them coming in the door, you don't have a church. Get to know them on a namely basis and make them feel part of the church. You know? And give them a welcome when they come in, etc.
See, we do what you're saying. We welcome people in, and whoever's taking the donations at the door is told to speak to everybody, because some people don't speak to anybody in a week. We also, after the service, we have a healing service. So after the healing circle, we go round the circle and we ask everybody what did they like and what they didn't like. Because if they don't tell us what they like or don't like, we can't fix it. So how many churches do you think do that?
It's a known fact, Jean, that the general public will only come and see certain individuals on the platform. You know? And we can't force them to come because that is wrong. You know? We're just happy that if they can make the time on any certain evening, we're happy that they come in to see us.
Absolutely. So, how does your church feel about people who are maybe from the minorities, maybe gay, transgender? How does your church feel about that?
We just accept everybody as they are. Because at the end of the day, everybody's a human being.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter whether you're gay or transgender, what colour you are. If you've got a pulse, you are a human being and you have every right to be in that church.
Absolutely. So that takes me to the SNU. I don't know how much you know about them, but how do you feel about the SNU?
Well, I actually do a lot of SNU with churches. You know, it's not an organisation that I've had any interest to actually join. But I'm happy to go and do any church. You know, because they've got their rules, and sometimes they're tied up with too much red tape.
I was going to ask you that as well. You know, why do you not want to be involved with them? But you've answered that already. So,
aye.
Gary and I had a wee chat earlier, and I was speaking about how much money the SNU charge to go to Stansted and do a training course. So my opinion is they charge too much money for the course, maybe £500-600 if it's a week, and then you have to travel down there, and then you have to pay for your accommodation, albeit it may be at Stansted, but you've still got to pay for it. So is that discriminating against the poor people who can't afford that?
Basically, Jean, because when you go there, and I ken a lot of people who has went there, they can, and it's all about the money. They can, and they'll get taught every bit as good in a local church than what you will in there.
So do you think people find the money to go there just so they can say they were trained at Stansted?
A lot of people get it as a birthday gift, Christmas gift.
Yeah.
You know, can for the husband or the wife, the kids and all that.
Yeah.
Again.
No, that's good.
Again,
So do you think they should make it a bit cheaper? Not to cheapen their training, but so that it's more affordable for common people?
Well, it's no every medium who's got a high income,
No.
you know, a high wage.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people. There are a lot of people like myself, Jean, and yourself, retired.
Yeah.
Again, and exist on a pension.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. So, do you think the SNU are going to change in any way that maybe poorer people could do it?
No, they've got their set ways working and set ways of operating, and they regard themselves the mainstream organisation for what we do.
But who qualifies them to think that and believe that?
Well, that one I couldn't really tell you who gives them the right to sit and judge other people, whether you're a good medium or no.
Yeah. Because I think we've had this. Sorry.
Every medium is only as good as the last message they passed over.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So some SNU churches would not have someone from an independent church standing on the platform. What do you think about that?
Well, that's the company protocol, you know, and there's a lot of independent churches and mediums who do the job to the best of what they can do, and you can't ask any more than that.
Yeah.
You know, we're always judged. We're always judged at the end of the day by the people that we give the message to.
Yeah, absolutely. And a medium's a medium. The gift comes from the spirit world, comes from God.
Yep.
So surely we all get what we need at the time to deliver these messages, and it's just about, as we said before, being respectful while you're delivering it and not doing any harm to people that you're delivering it to.
Yeah, there's a way, Jean, of putting everything over, as the two of you know, right? You know, I joke about the wacky and all that.
Yeah.
Right, and it'll horrify a lot of people in the church.
Yeah.
But when I make the wise crack after it, they'll start and get a laugh. So there's a way of putting everything over.
Yeah. But do you think some of maybe the older generation, says me, a pensioner to a pensioner, but do you think some of the older generation don't want to speak about these things because they weren't part of their world, but they're very clearly part of the modern world?
Yes, aye.
Yeah, I think so too. And some people say you can't mention it, you can't mention drugs, but I beg to differ, because this is the world we're living in now, where many families are destroyed by drugs. So
it's the drugs and everything is a part now of everyday life.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, how many times do we say that we've got a wee man coming in here who liked a whiskey or 10?
Aye.
Okay, so it's much the same thing.
I usually say who liked a wee drink in the bottom of the bath, because he drank a load of it.
Aye.
So
that's right.
Yeah. So we have a lot of young men at the moment who are committing suicide or having serious mental health problems. What do you think the churches could do for them?
Well, the personal experience which I had with Keith, as you know, Keith hung himself, right then? My wee church really come around me and gave me the courage to get through the dark days. They gave me the strength to get through the dark days, and they kept me from walking away from the movement. So the wee church is really important in situations like that.
Absolutely. So Gary and I had a chat about maybe having an online chat room for young men with mental health, but they don't have to show their face, they can just listen if they want. Do you think that would be something that would be worthwhile in this current society?
Well, people come to wee churches for whatever reason. I got involved many years ago when I wanted to sort of end it all because I had too much pain in my life. And mentally I was everywhere. Right? And I wasn't coping. Right? So I went and I seen Ian Gow with the intention, if I didn't get the correct answers, I was going to end it all. I came out an hour later with a total different aspect on life. No thinking that what was going to lie ahead of me. So getting a message can save a life, but you've got to put it over correctly.
Well, obviously, having worked with social work, criminal justice for 19 years, I've dealt with a lot of things like that. So we were thinking it's more about changing how they see themselves or how they think. So there are some people who have been abused, but they feel shame, guilt, or they feel responsible, they're to blame. So if we try and shift their mindset that it wasn't their fault because they were a child, and the person to blame is the adult, and there's no shame because they were a child and they didn't know. So if we can kind of shift their mindset to think like that instead of taking the blame on themselves, do you think that would help?
Definitely. I had my abuse for a long period of time. And I was 40 years of age. This happened when I was between 12 and 16. A cousin's husband, right? Now, I was decorating a medium at the time. I was decorating her house at the time. She turned around and says to me, "John, who was sexually abused?" And that was me. And I knew at that time I had to face up to it all. You know, it certainly wasn't easy. But we never asked to be abused.
No, of course you never.
You know.
And that's why you don't carry any shame, blame, or guilt.
And there's a lot of shame in it, and it's coming to terms with everything first within yourself before you go and get the help.
Absolutely. So we're thinking if we can just change the minds thinking a wee bit so that they see that we're not to blame and people are not going to judge us, then also provide support helplines and things like that for them at the same time. Do you think that would work?
Well, I went to an organisation where I live. At that time it was called Open Secret. Right? And there were people there wanting help.
Yeah.
And there's people there just quite happy in the situation that they were because they were getting all the attention.
Yeah.
They didn't want to move on.
Yeah.
You know, and I just felt that it wasn't doing me personally any good, so I left it and I dealt with it on my own. My mum and dad and Linda were absolutely immense.
Yeah. Linda's John's partner, Gary.
Right, okay.
She's an amazing woman.
She was.
Yeah.
She was a rock.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Linda drops one-liners, Gary, and takes a beat for you.
Oh, I know half. She had the moments, okay?
She's good. So, I've been doing a wee business online. I've called it Trans Healing Academy. So, the first lady that came to me, it was as if the spirit world orchestrated it. Somebody asked me to fill in and do private readings at a fair. And this lady came round for a reading. And as soon as she sat down, I said, oh, what about this and this and this? And she went, And I says, tell me one thing that you would say about yourself. She said, ugly. And I said, well, I can't wait till I'm as ugly as you. She had the most beautiful face, porcelain white skin, not a blemish or a wrinkle. And I said, like, you've got a face like a model. Why are you thinking that? And she said, oh, well, you get told it often enough, you believe it. So I said, well, I said, this is what I'm doing apart from doing readings. And she said, I can book up for 6 sessions. I says, no, can't do it. You can book up for 1, see if you're the right fit, work with me and I'm the right fit for you, and we'll take it from there. Yeah. So what I found was this lady wouldn't cry. And I asked her why she wouldn't cry. And she said, I wouldn't give the bastards a pleasure. And I said, so when I changed her thinking to, this is not about them now, hen, this is about you, they're dead. Do you know?
Right. Well, and Jean, the 30 years that I kept everything in.
Yeah.
Wanting to do away with myself.
Yeah.
The other thought that kept me alive was, if I take my own life, he wins.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And that's what kept me alive until I got the courage for to come out with it all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But people also give you mental abuse.
Absolutely.
That you're ugly, you're this and you're that.
Yeah.
You know? The only ugly people are the people actually doing that.
Yeah. The ugliness
because
comes from the inside.
They're so insecure with themselves.
Yeah. The ugliness comes from the inside, it's not what's wrapped in the outside.
Yes.
So, I worked with this wee lady who wouldn't cry. So the first day after I finished, so we had a chat and then I gave her healing direct for the spirit world. And she started to cry and I said, right, I'm going to leave you there. You know where I am if you need me. And you can let me know if you want to do some more and we'll carry on next week. So she texted me and said, I need to book up for another 6 sessions. She comes on the screen the next week and I said, so how are you, Phyllis? She said, I've never cried so much in my life. And I said, how do you feel? She said, oh, I feel good. So this went on. After every session, she cried for about 3 weeks. And her husband said to her, I don't know what that woman's saying to you, but tell her to keep it up. So people were starting to notice the difference. And I said to her, something you would like to do that you've never done before. She says, go to a restaurant and have my dinner. So me and me found that really strange because I've been hundreds of places. But I said, so why don't you go? She said, because they sell alcohol and the person who gave me all this abuse the most horrific I've ever heard, I have to say. He's an alcoholic. And
God,
I was, oh dear. But now, the lady is honestly like a totally new woman. She said, I don't know who I am. And I said, good, it's up to you now to write the script.
Every question, Jean, that we, the victims, have to ask, we have all the answers. It's inside our own head.
Yeah.
Right? When I went back to work after I lost Keith, my gaffer got me to see a counsellor.
Yeah.
Right? And I went in and she asked me why I was there. So I told her why I was there.
Yeah.
She says, I don't know if I can help you. I says, well, have you ever lost a child? She went, no. I goes, well, Hen, you can't do anything for me. I said, I'm more advanced than what you are.
Yeah.
And with Linda, my mum and my dad and the church, Laura and everybody in the church, I got there.
Yeah. So this brings me another question. So do you think as mediums sometimes the spirit world give you a message from Keith or from your daughter because that's the right medium to put it across to you properly?
Aye. I think that they do pick us and put us into certain situations.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be there that night.
Yeah.
You know? I did one in Ayr Church on Sunday night there. The last message of the evening was worth going for alone.
Yeah.
The man had lost his wife and he wasn't coming to terms with it all.
Yeah.
And she came all the way through and he's sitting there breaking his heart. And he was talking to Fiona after it and he says, that was just amazing.
And sometimes that's our job, just to burst the bubble and let them start grieving.
Aye, it's to let them know that the person who they love most is there.
Yeah.
That they're around them, that they're watching what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're telling them through you and I, Gary, that they know that they're sitting watching out the window, they're feeling morbid or they're doing this or they're doing that. Yeah. That is a comfort.
Yes. Because then that's actual proof of what we're saying is real.
Yeah.
Okay. Gary, if you get any
it's when you get that just a wee bit of personal information that you pass back and you can see their face igniting. That's what they were looking for. Then the next time that you go back to the church, they've completely changed.
Yeah, you see a different person. Absolutely.
That's what makes the job worthwhile.
Absolutely.
Yes. Right, John, let me ask you a question. Right, first question. How did you get involved in all this mediumship? Where did I start with?
Well, I was getting divorced for the second time. Right? I put everything into the marriage and I didn't get much out of it. I was used for 9.5 years. When our daughter turned 18, Keith and myself were basically history and I wasn't coping. And I said, there's nobody on this earth can help me other than a medium. I needed to see a medium to see if I had a life.
Yeah.
I went in and I seen Ian Gow, and Ian was absolutely fantastic. And it's because of that message which I got is the reason why I'm here.
Yeah. So did you experience any sort of experiences when you were young, John, in the spirit world?
Aye, I used to see what I can only describe as see through bones. So I knew that there was other people there all the time.
Yeah.
Especially when you're decorating a big house and the people are away on their holidays, and you're the only person there, and you know that there's eyes on the back of your head.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Why is it past the paintbrush? Yes.
That's it. That's it. Okay.
Brilliant. Yeah. So I was just curious how it all started for you. How do you cope before you go to a centre, John? Do you get nervous still, or do you just
No.
take it?
No. I'm perfectly normal.
Perfectly normal.
Purely church. The first night I walked into it. I thought 4 steps in, and I'm thinking, I'm home. This is what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
No thinking that 3 months later, Laura would decide that I needed to be trained up. Right? Because this was the part of my plan in life. Okay? So after about 6 months, she says, I says to her, I says, right, Flora, I need to know where all these mediums are and the wee churches, because I'd like to go to them. So she phones me up one night. I'm needing a lift at the end of the week. So I picked her up. Wally, her husband, was in the back of the car directing me. You see? And we goes into the church, having the wee cuppa before the service. And wee Liz comes through and says, right, Flora, what hymns do you want? She says, didn't ask me, see him, he's doing it tonight. I'd never been on the platform in my life. So my first step on the platform was to do a full divine service.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Right? And the old bugger, right? About three services later, she says to them all, if you ever wonder how spirit work with you, watch how they work with John tonight. She says, because when John works, he does not stammer. He'll stammer before the service, he'll stammer after the service. At that time, Gary, I couldn't tell you my name. I go halfway through the service, I thought, that old bugger's right. And I've not looked back.
And that's so true, Gary.
Okay.
Sometimes when John's anxious or worried, he has a really bad stammer.
Yeah.
He stands on that platform, even before he goes on the platform, he's sitting at the top table and the stammer just goes.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing that energy comes forward. That's it. Transforms you.
Oh, geez, I have.
And the people John were talking about, John's son, Keith, took his own life. Plus, John lost his daughter as well. So he's had it hard apart from the abuse that he spoke about. It's not been easy.
Yeah, see.
Yep.
Yeah, been through a lot.
I lost him, Gary.
Yeah.
I lost him the same week, 15 years apart.
Yeah.
He was March the 8th. She was March the 5th. She took a heart attack.
Oh.
He was only 22 and she was only 35.
Yes, you've had a lot to deal with, John, in your life, and you're not facing
That's life.
You still
That's life, Gary. But what gives me the right to work 6 nights a week or longer and tell people in the audience that this was this person's time to go home. I had to learn what that actually meant.
Yeah.
So the experience that I gained, I use it to help others, and to me, that makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah. See, when my sister died, John, I know what you're saying. When my sister died 2.5 years ago,
That's right.
and I was heartbroken, but somebody said what happened, and I said, I just think she couldn't live in this world anymore. And that is honestly what I think. But it was her time to go. And a comment she made to her husband, it's my journey and I'm doing it my way. And that's
yes. Nobody has the right to live till 100. Our lifespan is exactly what it is meant to be.
That's right.
You know, that's it.
I've put my request in.
See, we hear plan before we come here, and if once that plan's up, nothing will stop it, or man can intervene to stop you from crossing over, no doctor, no nothing. You know what I mean?
That's
so
it.
Aye.
It's like what I said about Sadie. They told her 3.5 years ago, you've got terminal cancer. If you don't take treatment, you'll be dead within a year. She said, not you. No doctor will tell me when I'm dying. Me and God will tell us when we're dying. And she's still living 3.5 years later.
Aye.
Is that the key?
Yeah. I mean, you can understand people taking the medication to be here that bit longer.
Yeah.
You sometimes think, is it worth all the pain?
I know. Yeah. Because I do know some people who took their loved ones to hospital every day, 6 days a week for 6 weeks, and they only got 11 days extra.
That's right.
Aye.
So behind
that's it.
They would never have done it.
It's the same thing. They say that once your time's up, your time's up. You know what I mean? But then you get these people that are diagnosed with this, that, and that, the doctor, and all of a sudden they believe in who they are, and the doctors kind of say what's happened to them because these lumps and all these things, tumours that have disappeared. You know what I mean? So it's about believing who you are. It's crazy.
Healing is a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can, because you're passing back all this energy, all this love, and if it helps any individual, that's what it is all about. It gave my dad an extra 8 months of his life, and he didn't believe in it all until I gave him one night, a wee healing, and then each night, usually I would work late, and I'd get a phone call about 11 o'clock. I've not had my healing. I need it. And he turned from being a non-believer to total believed in it.
Yeah. Well, they say that you've got to believe. The person receiving the healing must believe that once they feel it, I think that starts to waken them up inside. You know what I mean? Once they feel that healing happening.
I gave him a healing one night, and I said, Dad, who went down the pit early and put the TNT round their head and blew their head off? He said that was Campbell, as he found out that his wife was having an affair. He wasn't coping, so that day he went down the pit early and blew himself up. After that, my dad totally believed in it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Well, I agree with that, because going back when I was 16, we went to our first spiritual meeting, and turned up and was sitting there, and I thought, well, I'll just hide at the back, nobody will see me. And then the medium comes straight up to us and says, I want to speak to you. She says, you were arguing over soup in a tent in Walkerty. And I went, wow, how do you ken that? There's only me and the other half in the tent. You know what I mean? We're arguing about who was going to cook the soup first. So, hey, then, some of the stuff I got back then, that's it. You become a believer, you know what I mean? I think you need that message to get you on your path, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, aye. Oh, definitely is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Laura Hogan and the wee church is one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's like me myself, John. I'm still the White Rose for 3 years, then I've been here these years I've tended to teach myself in my own time and stay away from our centres, but finally opened a place, and it seems to be just fun in a place, you know what I mean? So I'm quite happy I've actually took that
that's
step.
it, eh?
That's it. It's
all right.
Always saying when the time's right, the time's right.
It's amazing how it's amazing how spirit guides you towards the churches and the movement.
Yeah.
You can. Because
John,
certainly
sorry, have you been up to Gary's castle yet?
Where?
Have you been up to Gary's church in the castle?
I'm due soon.
Yes.
You will love it.
Yeah,
Aye.
it's nice. Nice scenery, nice energy. Yeah.
You
I
can
hope we'll have a full house for you, John.
Martini, man.
Hope it's packed out for you.
Aye.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah, it's a nice crowd, it's a nice energy, so you'll enjoy yourself.
Good. Because we can't have too many churches.
Nope. That's like saying we don't need all that love. We need hundreds of love and hundreds of churches.
I always say that if you can open somewhere where people can come and connect to their loved ones, then you're doing a great job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep. Definitely. You know.
You get any more questions, Gary?
I'm trying to think how long we've been running for. It's probably about time.
46 minutes.
Aye.
46 minutes, right, okay.
Aye.
Just stop there then.
Well, a lot of people say to me that since I met over the years, they say that they've learned and they've used the Ouija board and these sort of things. But I'm a non-believer of that sort of thing. How do you see the Ouija board?
Body swerve.
Yes, and always says that to everybody who tells me these things.
It's like everything else, Gary. Where there is light, there's always darkness.
Yeah.
And the Ouija board comes in that side of it. I feel anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The man
I just want to highlight that, so that when people watch this, they can kind of think twice before they actually do something like that. You know what I mean?
I was developed. On you go.
The man who developed said he, who was a medium, lost 3 days doing that with his girlfriend. He totally lost 3 days, and he's told us, don't go near it, don't touch it, it's the backside, as they say.
I mean, I was developed the old way for the old school. The first night I sat in the circle, I was told that you will work through the heart, you'll work with your own personality, don't base yourself on any other medium, you will fail. And then I got handed a pair of welding rods and 2 straws to learn how to open up and shut down. Okay? And that's fact. And knew that Mo is not able anymore. Marianne and Jackie and myself were trying to keep the same way of developing in the church as it's always been. You know?
Which is good.
Do everything for the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary, John is coming to do trance in my church in Renfrew with Marianne. Previously it was Flora, but Flora's now in Firham and she's in a wee care home. So her daughter does it now with John, and they're coming to do a demonstration in my church at the end of the year for my congregation to see what's possible.
Aye.
Right. That's good then, yeah. So we'll have to get you up to John, because there's not many trance mediums. Do you actually speak, John? Are we supposed to speak, or is it transfiguration? Or
it all started a while ago. The audience says to me, John, I'd like to do transfiguration. I goes, all right, okay. But she says, I need a doorkeeper. Me being me, I thought she meant somebody to stand at the door of the house. And she says, no, she says, that's not what I mean. She says, if anything happens to me. It's your job to bring me back out of it. I went, all right. So she sat in the cabinet, and much to our amazement, the faces changed, Gary. It was amazing, right?
Yeah.
And then one night, we're sitting there, and I'm sitting going, good evening, friend, come forward. What's your name? She goes, Mary. I goes, hi, Mary. What did you do when you were here? Oh, I was a lady of the night. Well, we fell about laughing, right? And Mary was a character, right? And of course, you get the silly question time. And I'm sitting there saying, well, was you busy? Well, her eyes never opened once. She just looked at me and says, well, was I the busy son? Again, up and down, out and in, out and in. So we were absolutely rolling, right? And then the other silly question is, was there any funny men that come? She says, aye, the wharf that lived down the road. You left him on, then you left him off. Okay? Right? Then, and after a period of time, she came in one night, serious, very serious. And she says, can I tell my life story? We said, yes. So she told us that her dad had left her mum to look after 3 kids. Her mum was holding doing 3 jobs. And she says, and I went to work as soon as I was aged, the same as her mum, working on the streets. Right. We went, all right. And then she says, after a period of time, I got pregnant. I went to the lady down the back street, got it taken away, and I went back to work. And then 2 years later, I fell pregnant again. This time, the operation failed, and I bled to death in the street. And we felt totally humbled to be told all that again. Yeah. A personal story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
it's
know?
Amazing. Amazing.
You don't ever know what's going to come through. And one night, practicing in the house, it was Mary Ann's turn, and she changed into her dad, and her mum and dad had a one-to-one conversation. But what was taking my interest was I was seeing my mum coming through and going back in, out and in. Then my daughter coming out and going in. And they were getting further out and further out. So when Mary had finished talking to her mum, she turned round and she looks at me, and my daughter was coming right out, Gary, eh? Yeah, I goes, hiya pal, how are you doing? She says, Dad, I'm doing better than what you are. As well, I said, that I'll not be hard, right? She says that you're still blaming yourself for me and Keith passing over. I says, well, She says, well, there's not a thing that you could have done. It was meant to be that way. I went, right, fine. Ken? So she says, time for to heal up. Then she says, I'm still blaming myself for me and you falling out all these years ago. I goes, no, Lisa, that was your mum putting words into your head at a young age.
Yeah.
I said, that was your mum's anger that she used you to get to me. So I says, that wasn't you, Hen, that was your mum. So I said, I'll tell you what we'll do. If you stop blaming yourself for you and I falling out, I'll stop blaming myself for you and Keith passing over. For that night, Gary, I turned a corner to where I am now.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Transfiguration is not for every medium. It's not for everybody.
No.
But that was a great experience, John. I think you needed that.
And you've got to do it right.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're putting total trust in sitting in the cabinet. You're taking a backward step out of your body to allow spirit to come all the way through. They do use your voice.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Again,
it's amazing.
we didn't practice as much as we actually should. It's just through various things happening. You can, but we love doing it.
Yeah, it's great just to sit and watch as well. See for people that just want to be there to watch.
And it's helped so many people in my church.
I'm saying transfiguration, even people in the audience can see their loved ones coming through.
You're away again.
It's great. It's just to see that flickering.
Can I hear you again? Oh, you're back again.
Hearing me? I think you're starting to fade out a bit, John. Your connection's starting to go. So I think we're just about done. Just about done, and he goes.
I know. On cue.
Yeah, it's been good, Gene. Yeah, I've quite enjoyed the show today.
Yeah, it is good, but as we say, that's a wee trial run.
Only got we've got. Right, so
can you hear you again?
I'm saying we're back on again. Can you hear me, John?
I better no stammer then.
Well, I think we've covered the end of our show, John. So we've covered the end now, so I think Gene would like to thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
Sharing your experiences and what you've been through in life. And
thank you very much. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
A lot of people will enjoy this as well. So we'll get you on at some of the point, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for, and
yes, you bother. Oh, okay.
Right,
I'll see you soon.
Right,
okay, bye. Bye. Used to. Okay, bye. Bye. Right, bye.